What's up? What's up? Listen, as you ascend in this place, as you learn a lot more about the people in this place and you in connection with those people, the only connection, even if that is living just amongst people, that is a connection nonetheless, a vibrational connection. When you do this more and more, you start to understand something common between a lot of individuals in this place, groups of people in this reality. What is it? Let's talk about it now, right? Like, comment, subscribe. Well, let's get right into it. We're going to talk a lot about this journey of the Ascetic series. One aspect thereof is perception of the common thread. So, me, guys, I'm Somer Del Piso. We already know that I talk a lot about the metaphysical. We talk a lot about the physical and just various things thereof, right? So, obviously, the name of this video and the topic is not probably any surprise to you guys. But this is important, and I'm sure some of you guys are perceiving this common thread, right? As you guys ascend. Let's talk about it now, right? Something in my personal notice, right? In my personal journey, I notice a lot of people, despite what religion they're from, what race they are, what culture they're from, they all chase the same exact thing, right? Propagation and proliferation upon this planet, excavation of the resources with wanton regard of other individuals that are less apt to have access to those resources, and accumulation of riches, again, at the expense of the ignorant. Of course, you could say, right, you could explain this through the fact that we are following our biological imperatives, and because we are following our biological imperatives, eventually we obtain or we seek to obtain these specific things. Maybe we have wants that evolved over time and become too big for our britches, right? We first seek families, we first seek domain over these families, then we become, we develop our brains, we become a little bit more preemptive about maintaining and securing our domain for our families, and so we preemptively try to have more dominion over more domains in order to try to safeguard our domains, our original domain. And then it goes on and on and on, and other individuals sort of catch wind about what's being done, and then they obtain information and knowledge in order to do the same thing to other groups of people. And then we have nations, we have countries with their own codes, laws, ethics, edicts, and we sort of wage war against each other for reasons that are completely beside what the biological imperative primed us to do. This is the common thread. Why is it that our wants, our urges sort of become so crazy after a long period of time? Does somehow greed factor into this? Does somehow wrath and revenge factor into this desire to obtain dominion? Why is it that our desire become distorted and warped the longer it is that we try to follow our biological imperative of securing our dominion and domain for our loved ones so they can thrive without, with safety and without fear of any foreign threats or domestic dangers? It is only because the biological imperative lies to us. This is the inevitable trajectory of all human beings. We always seek to control. We always seek to have access, control, and proliferation into various aspects of other domains and cultures. This is natural. When is it that you have seen a mother or a father pushing a stroller on the street and they ever made way to any passing pedestrian? It is only because they are entitled. They believe that I deserve space only because that I have a child. I am higher than you on the social strata, which means that I am more important. You need to get the heck out of my stroller's way. When in reality, they're putting a much more of a drain of resources from this finite space on the people that occupy this space that don't necessarily have kids. What is the solution? We have to perceive this at first. Gentlemen that's on semen retention, holding their seed, cultivating their creative force, transmuting that sexual energy into a powerful physical force to fortify their physical so they could have powerful genetics. This is only natural. We notice these things and we make secular decisions. Our society tends to support individuals that follow the biological imperative more than the ones that don't, the ones that are part of that are not part of that common thread. that binds and that has bound us all into what is the true reward, what is a just reward. What we need to understand is that as walking in this planet, it doesn't matter whether these individuals are from Peru, it doesn't matter if these individuals are from Siberia. Their main objective, if they are not enlightened, if they are not trying to ascend, if they are not cultivating their creative force due to a spiritual practice, they are for excavating the resources of the world, of this finite terrestrial sphere, and they are validated within themselves that what they're doing is the right choice. It is the right thing to do. There is nothing that you can do to try to argue or barter with them in order to have them yield spaces or things or goods or wants. They are entitled to those spaces, those goods, those wants. We are subject to that whole type of behavior as well. Individuals on semen retention, we feel the impulsive need as a human being to follow our biological imperative, to have relationships, and thinking that our relationship with that particular person is completely different. It's unique because you are involved, not understanding that there is an archival database of all the actions of this world, and that database is full of people that have thought the same way. There is no difference between you and the people from the past, only so far as that person from the past existed in the past and you exist in a time where we are having perpetual online arguments between the Android and the iPhone. Silly. Absolutely nonsensical. Perceive that common thread that's binding us all to this place, right? That is one of the many steps to triumph over the things of this world and begin your journey as an ascetic. You see, the ascetic in the contemporary world understands the rules of the contemporary world, the unspoken social contracts of the contemporary world. We have to have these families. We have to have kids. We have to have all these things. We have to follow our biological imperative to the very end, where that now causes destruction and violence upon other individuals that are trying to follow their biological imperative. And along the way, they lost that focus, which is just maintaining the safety of their kin, their next of kin, and their family. Separate yourselves from that. How do you exist in a world where the majority are primarily doing this? You seek to create your own societies, right? Or you don't seek to create your own societies. You seek to thrive in whichever society you're in. You utilize their rules to your benefit. Do not ever fall victim to their ways, their codes, their customs. Don't fall victim to your biological imperative that will inevitably cause you to sin in that way, to follow the common thread, to seek release, to seek propagation, and ultimately to seek the draining of the resources of our Mother Earth. This is just the reality. You have to accept it. It is going to be hard to fight your biological imperative. It's going to be hard to understand on an intellectual and metaphysical level why you should disobey all of the machinations and the impulses and reflexes of the body. I know this to be true. I live with it every day being on semen retention. You guys are probably doing the same thing if you're doing it in earnest. If you're doing semen retention the correct way, you are being tempted by your body to commit atrocities, to inevitably drain the resources from Mother Earth in order to protect your way of life. The fact of the matter is this: you are special insofar that you are a unique individual. You are not special as if you have these genetic gifts that allow you to walk on water or cast fire upon an object that you look at, like, Itachi and Amaterasu. Your thoughts and your actions have been done before. You are part of the fold physically, but you can ascend mentally and separate yourself from the common thread that binds and imprisons the minds of everyone in this world, and begin your journey to asceticism. And with that being said, that is all I have to say to you guys today. If you guys enjoy that kind of content, like, comment, subscribe, share the video with some peers. Don't ever let this place get you down. Listen, The common thread binds us all. There are a lot of unspoken rules and social contracts that's connected with the common thread that binds us all. We have to go to school. We have to get money at the expense of the weak. We have to accumulate physical goods. We have to get married. We have to cast aside people that don't agree with us politically, intellectually, all of that. But this all makes no sense. These are all prisons. You'll never truly be free if you're bound by these things. Granted, if you decide to take a right turn from the direction of contemporary society, you are going to be marginalized, you're going to be hated, you're going to be a little lonely at first. But once you incorporate that spiritual practice, semen retention, you will have this joy, this bliss like never before. You will be completely calm. You will be completely understanding, not uncritical, but piercing in the ways of this world and the common thread that binds the souls of this finite reality. And you will move beyond it as you unknowingly, unconsciously, yet almost like as if you're two magnets going towards the journey of the ascetic. Stay radiant, my friends. I shall see you in the next video. Woo!